Hello, Kurt Jackson, Retirement Income Strategist with KJ Financial in Liberty, Missouri here. And today we're going to look at a recent client that was looking for options to roll over a 401k from a previous job. We're going to call him John. John had just had come to us after losing his job at age 47. Luckily, he was able to find another job pretty quick, but he had an old 401k from the previous job. So he and his wife, and we're going to call her Susan, who's also 47, had responded after reading some of our information about the mistakes that people make when they're trying to roll over their qualified plan, whether it be a 401k, 403b, or 457 plan from their old job. Okay, and if you have an old IRA or an IRA, you can also do that with them. So in our meeting, we found that John and Susan's biggest concern for retirement was having enough income to retire and wanting that income to last their entire life, no matter how long they live. Pretty much like everyone out there, right? Well, John had been able to accumulate about $80,000 in this 401k, and he wanted to know the best options for their future. Now, since their main concern was income, John and Susan agreed that they wanted this $80,000 to create the most income that we could get it to create. Now, when John and Susan were asked if they wanted to be certain on how much that lifelong income would be at different ages in the future, or if they preferred to pin their retirement income on the hopes that it would create an income that might last their entire lives, they really liked the idea of having certainty, and I think most people would. They felt that having certainty on how much this portion of their retirement money would create in the form of a lifelong income would help reduce the stress that they had been feeling about their retirement and help them in deciding on what to do with the rest of their money and what to do with the money that they would put away between now and the time that they retire. So, excuse me, so we found a financial vehicle that would take the $80,000 from John's old 401k, transfer it to a new custodian, okay, a highly rated life insurance company without triggering any taxes or penalties. Okay. The life insurance company offered some unique guarantees. Now, keep in mind that these guarantees are backed by the claims paying ability of the life insurance company that's making them, and that's why we only work with highly rated life insurance companies. Okay. So John and Susan, they had a retirement age in mind of 67. So we optimized their income for that time frame. This financial vehicle promised to provide them $12,008 per year for the rest of their lives, both their lives, no matter who lived the longest, okay? And it would begin at age 67. Now, when comparing this amount of income with what more traditional retirement plans offered, John and Susan found that their $80,000 would need to earn somewhere between 6.84% and 8.38%, okay, in actual returns, and that would be after fees, right, which they didn't feel comfortable that they would be able to earn. And those difference in returns were based on what the so-called safe withdrawal rate that traditional retirement planning was working with at that time. And when I say safe, I mean it just says you have a good chance you won't run out of money. That's what traditional retirement planning promises you from an income standpoint in retirement. So that so-called safe withdrawal rate had been 4% for many years. They did that through many studies, right? But more recent studies that have taken into account the lower interest rate environment we're in and the increased volatility we've had in the market suggest really a 3% or lower rate of withdrawal in order to have a good chance of not running out of money. Okay. Now, none of these traditional strategies provided the certainty that John and Susan were looking for of lifelong income. They only had the hope that it would. Right? And John and Susan weren't comfortable with all that uncertainty surrounding the traditional retirement planning strategies. So we looked harder at the more certain option with the guarantees backed by the life insurance company, the highly rated life insurance company. John and Susan liked having the certainty of knowing what the minimum income would be for them at age 67. Okay? They said it felt like they were using that $80,000 to buy an income in the future because they knew what that was going to be. They liked the flexibility and certainty of knowing that they could turn that income on either earlier or later, while also knowing exactly at each year interval exactly what that minimum income would be. They also like the fact that they didn't have to choose the joint life option up front. You know, the one that gives them a lifelong income for both of them and it doesn't reduce when the first one passes away. So if Susan died before they turned the income on, John could use the single life option, which at the age of 67 would have created some more income, $13,341 a year, instead of the $12,008 a year. And that would be for the rest of John's life in that hypothetical scenario. Now, one big concern that John and Susan had about this type of financial vehicle was that they heard that if they turned the money on and died the day after, right, that there wouldn't be any money left to pass to their kids. Well, they were relieved to find out that as long as there's cash left in the account, their kids would get it, and it wouldn't even have to go through probate. Now, the only way the kids wouldn't get any money is if either or both John and Susan outlived their money, which would mean that they had won the bet with the life insurance company and will be getting more money than that they had put in and had grown the account to. Okay, so then that's why we believe that retirees should guarantee at least enough income for them to live, no matter how long that is. Okay, because we don't know. Oh, one big benefit we surprised them with, because they really didn't have a plan for this, and many people don't, and everybody should. And that was, what if one or both needed specialized care or long-term care? Okay. So this policy has a rider that, as long as it didn't happen within the first year the policy was put into place, after that year, okay, it would double the income from $12,008 to $24,015 if one of them was certified by a doctor that they needed long-term care. Now, this amount would continue until the death of that particular annuitant, and then would revert back to the initial amount for the rest of the surviving spouse's life. Now, also, this higher amount would only be paid until the account value had been depleted to zero, then would revert back to the lower amount until both of them died. Okay? With this certainty, we were able to help them better map out the rest of their retirement income plan to relieve a lot of stress surrounding all of the unknowns that we all face when we're looking at retirement. So this is just one example of some of the things we do. People are always asking what we do, so I'm trying to put out some different examples of how we've helped people. So if you or anyone you know has an old 401k, 403b, 457, even an IRA, and would like to look into having a much higher level of certainty in their retirement, or are 59 and a half and older, and would like to look at and have a provision, and most of them do have a provision inside their current 401k, 403b, or 457 plan, let us know, or you can either send them this link or let us know, and we'll send them the link to this video. And since you've already seen it, I suggest you give me a call on my direct line. The number's up there, or my email, so we can see what a custom plan for your retirement income would look like using certainty, guarantees, and even some other strategies that we didn't mention in this short video. Now, if this sounds like something you'd be interested in, please don't wait, okay? Because the more time you have, the more we can do with what you already have. So until then, I hope you have a great day. If we don't talk, I still want you to have a highly successful retirement. Just think, unless you know someone that does what we do, you're going to struggle with having a successful retirement. But I certainly hope you do. I also hope to get the opportunity to meet you and talk with you. But until then, I hope you have a great day, and thanks for tuning in.